Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday. I'm sorry I missed you last week, but I cannot wait to tell you all about it because it was amazing. I am so excited about today, actually. Just so excited. I have so much to share with you. So, I am Kim Antonucci, and you are listening to Kimmy Talks. Today is Monday, so we are typically supposed to be talking about mortgages, but I want to talk more than mortgages today, um, because here at Movement we're just more. We're more than mortgages. So I am going to dive deep into all that cool stuff, and I'm so excited about it. You have no idea. I've been pumped thinking about it all week. So I'm going to give you a little background about myself first. I started out as a measly little processor. I shouldn't say that, actually. Shout out to my processor, Mackenzie Morris. She is a rock star. And let me tell you, it is not easy being a processor in this industry at all. And she's just amazing. She puts up with all my crazy and all of my clients, and she does it with such grace. And I love her. I love you, Mackenzie. But yes, I started out as a processor for a mortgage broker. And, it was crazy because when I started out, I thought that I was starting out to help people get a loan to buy a house, and it was fun and exciting. And then it quickly turned into it's all about the money. You have to make money to survive. Because as a loan officer, you're commissioned. And so it's easy to get in that mind frame. It's easy to sit there and just look at the numbers and look at your pay stub. So I started out as a processor. I quickly became a loan officer, and then I got licensed in New York and Florida. I worked for the broker for quite a few years and decided it was time to make a change. And that is when I came over to Movement Mortgage. And it is quite literally the most amazing company on the planet Earth. I'm not even going to say the most amazing mortgage company because that doesn't even do it justice. It is the most amazing company on the planet Earth. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to go into the details later on in this podcast, but just remember I said that. So last week I was not broadcasting at all because I was in Cancun, Mexico for President's Club. Woo woo! It was awesome. Amazing experience. I was there because I made President's Club last year, and that means that I served over 125 families in 2021. I think the final number was 135 for me. So that was a really great year. And Movement Mortgage took all their President's Club people to Cancun, Mexico to celebrate. What a great year it was. But here's the cool thing. We didn't really celebrate just us. We celebrated what it means, how big it really is. It's huge. It's ginormous, really. We were there in a meeting with Casey. He's the CEO of the company. And not once did Casey talk about the profit of the company itself, which is amazing. He came out there and he was like, oh, we're going to talk numbers. And everybody's like, oh, we're going to talk numbers. But it wasn't the numbers we had expected, right? He was talking about how our profits gave back to communities all over the world. So it was pretty amazing. It reminded me why I joined Movement Mortgage. It reminded me why I do what I do. And so that's why I'm so pumped up to get on this podcast and share it with all of you, because we all need to be reminded. And here's the thing. It's so much bigger than just us. Every single mortgage that I originate through Movement Mortgage gives back to the community all over the world. That's huge. Like, what other mortgage company can say that? I don't know. I don't know of any. Do you? So while we were on this trip, we also got to do some outreach, which was pretty cool. We have some results to share with you. We did 2,500 hygiene kits, 600 female hygiene kits, 1,500 backpacks, and 1,500 meal kits for 37 different organizations in Mexico. It was, quite honestly, the most amazing experience. It was awesome. So I'm going to share some photos with you now of this. Let me just get back up here a second. So here is here's the start of it. So we all walked into this big room. There was literally 1,100 of us there. And it was a huge conference room full of tables and stuff. And we packaged them up for all of these families in Mexico that are in need, right? There's me and my husband. Yes, he was by my side helping me out, of course. Look at that. All those bags going to communities around Mexico that are in need. So yes, it was a vacation, but it was one of the most rewarding vacations I've ever been on in my entire life. It's pretty awesome. Look at all those boxes going into the trucks, all those boxes and bags for kids and families all over Mexico. All right, so now I'm going to chat a little bit about why I chose Movement Mortgage and why Movement Mortgage is my home for sure. So Movement Mortgage is leading a movement of change, and that is just reality. Here's our mission. Movement exists to love and value people by leading a movement of change in our industry, corporate culture, and communities. So movement is a culture that appreciates the power of words. And so we have some key phrases that we like to regularly express our purpose and our mission. Love and value people. I say that so much that people are probably sick of it, but I don't care. Love is a verb. Movement of change. We truly are trying to change our world here at Movement Mortgage. Yeah, I mean, I get stuck in doing loans all day, every day. But after going to that President's Club trip last week, I was reminded that that's my part in this whole thing. That is my part, is to originate these loans, serve my own community by getting my community's families into their homes, whether it's their first home, second home, third home, whatever it is. And then throughout that whole process, the end result is giving back to communities all over the world. It's insane and awesome. Another cool one is fast to the fight. We like that one. So in 2021, $100 million of profit invested into Movement Foundation. We're going to talk about Movement Foundation. 360 plus million invested since Movement Foundation's inception. 5,320 teammates now in all 50 states. It's huge. So here's Movement Foundation, okay? The Movement Foundation is our way of being a movement of change in communities. Its goal is to have a long-term impact on the lives of those who are economically, spiritually, and socially underserved in our communities. To date, the Movement Foundation has reinvested $360 million of mortgage profits. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So here's Movement Mortgage on the right compared to other companies. Other companies have investors, so their profits are paid to shareholders. And then whatever, there might be a small percentage left over that goes to charities. But Movement Mortgage, with no investors to repay, more profit goes to Movement Foundation to help break the cycle of poverty in our communities. Pretty cool stuff. So here's what Movement Foundation is all about. We have our Movement School. It's insane. This is, I think on Wednesday, if I don't have a guest speaker, I'm going to dive deep into Movement School for all of you, because it's literally insane what Movement Mortgage is doing with this school. We are building schools in underserved communities, and it's wild. And then we have our Movement mission trips all over the world. We go and help underserved communities all over. We have our matched giving. So what that means is Movement Mortgage will match its employees on their charities, what they give. So if I give $5,000 to a nonprofit in my community, Movement Mortgage will match that for me. And then there's LoveWorks and GraceWorks. That one is very dear to me. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But LoveWorks gives back to the employees, right? The employees that are in need. So love is a verb. Here we have, here's a little information on the school. So we've invested $300 million into building 100 schools in the next 10 years. Talk about goals. That's a pretty cool one. Right now, I think we have 3 schools, and the 4th one is opening in September. Pretty cool stuff. So love works and match giving. I really want to talk about this one because this one is pretty important to me. I am actually an employee of Movement Mortgage that experienced this firsthand. So, as many of you know, my mother has been battling cancer for over 2 years now. I'm hopeful that we are in the recovery phase of the whole thing. Last scan was cancer free. Yay. So it was hard. It was a very challenging experience. My mom had 2 massive surgeries, both of which I was away from my family for an entire month at a time. The second time around, Gabriel was only 4 months old, and I had to leave him for an entire month. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, quite honest. And it's crazy. Love Works, Movement Mortgage literally came right up behind me and helped me and my family through this entire process. It's insane what they did. They paid for our living expenses at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota while we were there. And they also sent food to my family here in Syracuse, New York, who I couldn't be with. So that was incredible. And that is what this company stands for. That's this company's why. And that's my why. I want to serve my community and underserved communities all over. And so that's just a little bit of my personal experience. And I'm forever grateful to Movement Mortgage for helping us through that time. It was one of the worst times I think anybody could ever fathom in their life. And I had the love, support, and prayer of my company behind me through the entire time. I shouldn't even say behind me. They were right next to me. They were right there with me the entire time. There's Mama ringing that bell. So that is it for the presentation. I do want to say that it's not just me. It's not just movement. It's not just me. It's so much bigger than that. My clients, my agents, my attorneys that I work with, insurance agents I work with, all of you are a part of this. It's insane, but it's true. Every single one of you are contributing to this because you are all a part of getting these people a home. You are all a part of the mortgage getting funded and then the profit becoming available for communities all over the world. So it's so much bigger than just me and just movement. So here's the thing. I wanted to challenge myself. Flying home yesterday, I had lots of time to think about, the trip, and I realized that it's true. We get lost in the day-to-day and forget about why we do what we do. So I've challenged myself to find a way over the next week to serve the underserved communities in Syracuse and Rochester. If anybody wants to help me out with that challenge, you are more than welcome. But I'm excited. This is my mission for the week. I will be doing my research and finding out what I can do personally and through my business. And then, before I sign off, I really want to challenge each and every single one of my viewers and listeners to do the same. I challenge you to find a way through your career or your business, or whatever company you work for, doesn't matter, or even personally, I challenge you to find a way to serve the underserved in your communities. It's so important, and it's definitely my why. It might not be yours, but I think that it's still something we all need. We're coming out of a brutal pandemic. A lot of people suffered. And I think now is the time to pour love and support into our communities more than ever, for sure. So tune in Wednesday. I think Wednesday we may have a guest, but if we don't, I'm going to talk a little bit more about movement schools. And Thursday the 26th, don't forget, it's Agent Marketing Academy in Rochester. And Tuesday the 31st is Agent Marketing Academy in Syracuse. This month, it's Google My Business for real estate. So it's going to be pretty awesome. I hope everybody can be there physically, but if you can't, don't forget, we will be live broadcasting it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Of course, if anybody needs a pre-approval this week, be sure to fill out my online application or visit my website, www.movement.com/kim.antonucci. Don't forget, you can find me audio only on Spotify, Spreaker, and Apple Podcasts. Of course, you won't get to see the cool slideshow I just did, though. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. I cannot wait to see everybody on Wednesday. I'm happy to be back. And I hope you all have a fantastic couple of days. Love you all. Bye-bye.